Hello Collective, it is Kai. So I just recently responded to a comment that I feel like could have been a very reacted environment for me to be within my ego and honestly take offense to it, take it personally. And I believe that it's just such a beautiful example of why I do believe that differences do not mean that there should be conflict. I decided to respond because I also didn't want to forsake their own experience, and I also did appreciate them calling me out on my pronunciation. I tend to listen to a lot of different languages like Japanese and Korean, and so that me practicing those languages has caused me to kind of change the way that I speak in English. And so I think that that is also a good learning experience for me, because I looked up the word and then I figured out what the actual pronunciation was. It was Dieter. I didn't know that, and so I was just kind of like, oh, that's what it sounds like. So just to talk about what they said and then how I decided to respond, they kind of said something about, I already forgot, that what I'm saying is false and pretty much what I was saying was useless, right? And they were telling me to stop pretty much believing in astrology because it doesn't matter and frequencies don't exist. I think one thing I did want to say, though, that I'm not going to say to their actual comment, I'm going to say in this video, is that there is like evidence on frequencies, and that's why quantum physics exists. And I'm actually still learning right now. I'm learning from Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he talks about quantum physics, frequencies, different like wave frequencies. And so there's beta waves, alpha, theta, or I don't want to get that wrong because I've just learned about it. But I think overall, yeah, beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma. And those are waves, those are frequencies. I just wanted to say that that's just information that I know, so I just wanted to share that. I do believe that it is important for me to respond, especially because not only has this community grown, but my awareness of myself has also grown as well. Yes, of course, you may think or experience that what I'm saying is not useful or that you don't believe in it, and that is completely valid. I think the most important thing that I actually wanted to bring up from that response or reaction to me was that, yeah, I could totally respond and be like, why are you even listening then? Like, why did you spend 3 minutes of your own precious time and presence and awareness, whatever, in this space? You know, it's like I could totally go into that questioning and honestly maybe even instigate some sort of like confrontational aspect of this. But it's really important for me to be aware that I'm not interested. I'm not actually. I honestly, I don't care. Like, I don't care in a way where it's like, it's actually your responsibility. It's your responsibility to understand that this is not something that you align with. This isn't something that you want to learn more about. Sorry, excuse me. And it's just so important for us to surround ourselves with things that bring us true joy. And I don't mean satisfaction. Satisfaction comes from an external force that almost maybe validates your experience of joy or even just confirms that experience, because I do believe that joy, from the information that I've learned, is something that comes from within, and it's not something that's validated or confirmed from external forces. So that's why I don't believe that reacting to haters, quote unquote haters, I don't believe that this person hates me because, one, they don't know me actually, right? And so it's just so important for me to be able to respond to people like this, because it honestly made me laugh. In the end, it just made me laugh because I was just like, I won't feel sorry for you. I won't pity you, in other words, because once again, it's not my responsibility for me to almost try and like make you understand. That's not the point of these videos. And so I could already tell that they hadn't watched, and I would hope that they wouldn't watch my other videos if they already didn't resonate with 3 minutes of something that I said. And so it's like, okay, so how would I like to actually address this from me, the person, and see this person as their experience, as their own entity, as something separate from me, right? I'm not attached to other people's not only positive but negative connotations. I do want to also bring up that it is important to also like allow this form of detachment to happen when it comes to positive reinforcement, which comes from compliments, you know, like, and it depends also on love languages and also how you actually surround yourself with love, how you are choosing to love yourself, how you experience yourself, all of these things. And so I just thought this was a very good moment for me to actually not only acknowledge, yes, I was triggered for a moment. Of course, my ego flared for a moment as well, where I was like, damn, you know, like all those things that I just said, I was feeling it within me, and I didn't allow those thought cycles to perpetuate. And therefore, by breaking that thought cycle, by allowing myself a moment of silence, a moment of presence with me, I decided to make this video because lately I do feel like I want to say what is right, right? And what is right by me, what works for me, is going to be different for you. And not because we're completely separate, and not because we're completely divided or different necessarily, but it is to acknowledge my own experience. It is to actually allow that moment so that I can be with me and allow that safe space to experience these negative or positive emotions. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because once again, I really do appreciate people who have not only the courage and also presence to speak from themselves, but even when it's kind of more reactive. Like, I don't really see it as like, oh, they're trying to attack me. You know, you could go into so many different like avenues of thoughts and perceptions on this, right? But I wanted to really practice the ability to be perspective, or to allow perspective versus being so stuck in my own perception. So therefore kind of being attached to it, you know, and believing that I'm right and you're wrong, but it's not true. Like, if you don't resonate with what I'm saying, if you don't believe in certain aspects that I'm talking about, that's totally valid. Like, you have different information, please go ahead and share that information versus just stating something as if it is fact, not based on evidence. I also am still kind of navigating that as someone who likes to practice and aligns with practicing spirituality, and in other words, divination, tarot cards, astrology as well, which I kind of am like, well, I do study astrology, but I'm also not well versed in it to the point where I could bring up actual like articles to kind of support what I'm saying. And so it's based on kind of like informational videos. So I actually do have different avenues of this information so that I can learn, right? And so I'm not all knowing about astrology. I don't know. It really allows me a moment to learn. It allows me a moment to be with myself and be like, okay, what do I believe in? What do I value, right? And so I'm like, well, I don't really value sharing myself necessarily with this person specifically, but I do allow myself to express so that whoever resonates with what I'm saying can also maybe experience themselves. And so if that's how you're experiencing yourself, then honestly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it has to be something where calling someone out for something that you simply are just speaking up for and surrounding yourself with isn't necessarily beneficial to you. And If my words can't support you, then with all due respect, please walk away. Please genuinely walk away. And I do believe that that's something that I've learned, and I'm still learning, to allow healthy boundaries and also to walk away from situations, from people, from environments that don't align with me. Once again, I'm still learning. I'm alive, so I get to learn. So I wanted to allow there to be space for that, because as this account starts to grow more, and I understand that, yes, I have had and will have and continue to have a lot of gratitude for the people that do resonate with me. There will be people who present themselves and who don't resonate with what I'm saying, who have many things that are different than me, and maybe what I'm saying triggers them, is abrasive to them, and honestly, I can only wish them a safe space that they can actually be themselves. And if this is how they wish to be around me, I don't believe that that is healthy. I don't believe that it is really necessarily healthy to surround yourself with information, with perspective, with experiences that maybe, this is where I'm just kind of basing it off of my own experience, obviously. Obviously. But that might not be as obvious to people, so I'm just kind of like explaining things a little bit so that there is possibly an opportunity for this perspective to be heard properly. If you're not hearing me properly, that is up to you. And if I'm not expressing myself aligned with how I am, that is my responsibility. And so, once again, it's nothing about this person. It's about these aspects of this person that I am learning from, that I am opening myself up to, and also walking away from as well. It is simultaneously releasing and also acknowledging. I don't have to absorb. I don't have to attach. Those are things that I have walked away from and consistently practiced. So it becomes and became a it became more aligned with my flow state. So yeah, that is about the end of this video. I wanted to really relay this information within the intention of allowing there a space so that, yes, there will be a collective, there will be a community, but there's a culture that is cultivated simply because we are people and we come together and we are all connected. That is just what I believe. So to your own, right? I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for all the support, and I am sending you just as much support and love on your own spiritual journey. Understand that it comes with discernment and responsibility, because your choices are your own. So much love.